We are now going to create our ocean simulation in Cinema 4D. So go ahead and download the plugin from the class files, and we're going to start by just quickly going over the installation process and then start building the ocean. In Cinema 4D, we're going to start with a plane, which is from up here. And let's go to display with lines. So grow shading with lines so I can see the segments. So this is going to be 5,000 units or centimeters by 5,000 centimeters. It's going to have 250 segments in both the width and the height. Then we're going to bring in our Hot 4D plugin. This is what's going to be used to simulate an ocean. So place this under the plane. And if I hit play by default, we have this right here. So this is our free plugin, and it's going to be included in the class files, and I will also include a link to the original creator so you can check that out as well. But to install it, you want to go to Edit and Preferences, and you want to open up this Preferences folder, and in here you will find Plugins, and you can see this is where I have installed my Hot 4D plugin. If I open this up, it looks like this inside that folder. So that's what you want to do as well. Place this folder in this location, which you access by going to the Preferences folder. And in addition, you want to go to wherever your Cinema 4D is installed. There are some additional files which will be included with the plugin. They need to be in this location next to the actual executable Cinema 4D file. Anyway, when you've done all of that, you restart Cinema 4D, and the next time you go to extensions, the Hot 4D plugin will be there. So let's continue. We can see that our waves here are just too small and move a bit too quickly, whereas in this example, the waves are much larger and they move much slower, which gives the scene a sense of scale, and it feels very large as opposed to what we currently have. So we need to change some settings in the plugin. Before we jump to that, let's just extend our timeline. Currently it's only 3 seconds. Let's make this 18. Also, I'm going to press Ctrl D to open up my project settings. And I want to change the FPS down from 30 to just 24, which is the film standard FPS, and it's what I use for most of my projects. Let's go to the plugin. In the settings, we want to start by increasing the ocean size from 400 to 3000. And then let's go to the wind speed and set that to 120. And then this is going to widen the waves, but we need them to be taller. So the approximate wave height is going to be set to 100. Let's disable the lines for a moment. It's still moving too quickly here. So I'm going to go to the time scale and drop this down to 0.2. And now it's moving much slower, a bit like we have in the original example. If I just skip forward to the end here, you're going to see a slight jump as it goes back to the beginning. That's because this time loop frame control is not matched up to the frames in our animation. We have a total of 432 frames. That's 18 times 24 FPS, which gives us 432. Let's match that up to the number of frames we have in the animation. So time loop frame is now 432. Which means that if I play this through, at the end here, it jumps back to the beginning and it's a seamless loop animation. When I was doing some tests, I found that a timescale value of 0.175 worked the best. And so that gave me this nice slow movement. We can check out some other settings here, such as the wind direction. That's quite self-explanatory. This is basically the direction the waves are moving in terms of degrees. So if I were to, let's say 180, the waves are going to be moving in a completely different direction. but I'm going to leave it at 120 because I want the waves to be moving away and slightly to the right. Another control is the choppiness, which if you push way up, it creates this effect where it pinches the top of the waves. But if you zoom in now, we start to see the waves kind of fold over themselves, and that's not going to look great. So I won't push this too high. Maybe leave it at about 1 maximum. Now, this actually isn't that high resolution, this ocean simulation. We can push this even further. Let's go for the width and height segments on our geometry. I'm going to push this up to 1000 by 1000. And you can see the level of detail increase. And then also in the plugin itself, let's go to the ocean resolution, put this up to, let's say, 1024. And once again, the level of detail will be increased quite a lot. But now if I try to play this back, you can see that it's very slow and unresponsive because of all that extra detail. So my computer just cannot handle this amount of detail. So that's a limitation I had to work with when I was creating the original scene. I just had to use some fairly low settings. But it didn't matter too much because I still liked how it looked, and I wasn't trying to create, a hyper-realistic rendering of the ocean. It was quite stylized, and I was happy with how it turned out anyway. So I would recommend using the same settings, but you do have the option to push that as far as you are able to, and that might look even better. Okay, and that's it. As you can see there, it's a very easy to use plugin which allows us to create an ocean very